Hello! So you may have noticed I'm not in my apartment. This is my parents' house out in the lovely town of Pickering. I've been home for about a week and I was in the hospital the week before that. I went unconscious and I hit my head. And it all kind of went downhill from there. My name is Leanne, this is Spilt Milk, and this is my puppy. To this day, I've been on about 15 different medications. For a long time, I was on Seroquel, and there's a lot of good things to be said about Seroquel. It kept me stable for about 3 years. But there were also a lot of side effects. I gained probably 20 or so pounds. I was really drowsy in the morning and I couldn't hold down a normal job, so I had to work night shifts like Batman. It wasn't the best fit, but I was scared to change. So we added lithium about 9 months ago, and at first it worked really well. And then I started losing my hair and I started having really bad reactions with my skin. And I wasn't sure what to do next. So when I went unconscious in the street, we decided to switch to a new drug called Latuda. I've had a couple bad experiences with new drugs. One time, my doctor was like, there's a 1 in 2,000 chance that you might turn purple. And then I turned purple. So when you're switching medications, there's a couple things to consider. Number one, can you afford it? How are you going to adjust your budget to make it fit? Number two, what are you coming off of? Seroquel has really, really bad withdrawals. One time I cried over a fuzzy peach because I was coming off Seroquel and it was shaped like a heart and I got really, really sad. Because I was like, do I even have a heart? Do I have a heart? Anyways, coming off Seroquel, I was throwing up every day for about 2 weeks. But no one could tell if I was throwing up because I was coming off Seroquel, if it was because I was lithium toxic, or if it was the new drug, Latuda, messing up my system. So I ended up in the hospital at 1 a.m. on a Friday night. If you ever want to find out if your significant other loves you, you should throw up on them repeatedly and see what they do. Shout out to James. I'm not really great at hospitals. Like when other people talk about their veins, I almost pass out. So when they asked to see my veins, I was like, no. And then I was like, yes, because I had no fluids left in my body. Also, fun tip, if you wear your SicknotWeak clothes to the doctor and it says sick in really big letters, people don't talk to you and they make you put on a mask. Things kind of took a turn when I told them that I had bipolar disorder. I couldn't get in touch with my psychiatrist, but the doctors in the ER were reluctant to change anything or do anything to help me because they weren't really comfortable messing with the meds of someone who had bipolar disorder. And I get that because it's a specialized field, it's really scary. But I was pretty much in crisis mode. The thing about being physically ill on medication that I didn't realize is that you can't keep down your medication. So not only are you having physical symptoms, you're also throwing up the only thing that keeps you stable. I know everyone talks about how hard it is to see your psychiatrist and how there's like month-long waits, but if you throw up everywhere and hit your head, they see you the next day. So, tips. He was pretty worried. Number one, because I had thrown up all my medication. And number two, because it didn't seem like the medication was working. It was actually making me throw up even more. So we decided to just do lithium by itself, which seemed pretty safe because I had been on it for 9 months. And I guess one thing that had never happened before was that I was a patient who could not tolerate lithium on its own, but I could tolerate it in combination with other stuff, which is pretty weird. He was actually like, we should do a study on this. And I'm like, I could be patient zero like in a zombie movie. And he's like, that's not how that works. The most important thing that I learned was that when you do change medications, do one goddamn thing at a time. And so I am back on Latuda, the drug that they thought was making me sick in the first place. But you know what? I feel better. If you are thinking about switching medications, please do yourself a favor and don't Google it. People's bodies are different. Just because I had a bad experience with lithium or Seroquel doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad experience, and Amanda 2119's experience has nothing to do with you either. You have to sometimes trial and error yourself 15 times to find the right medication for you. I'm not even saying that the medication that I'm on is the right medication. It's literally been 3 days since I've thrown up, so I don't know. Part of having a mental illness is being resilient. Part of being resilient is going back to the well even when it hurts you. My doctor has my best interests at heart. My name is Leanne Simpson. These are my dogs, and they like spilt milk. Literally, they would lick it from the floor. This is Maggie. Maggie's favorite activities include barking at herself in the oven and looking everywhere at the same time. Can we zoom in on her eyes? Because they're pretty cool. This is Charlie. He's 4. His favorite activities include licking for hours and kind of being a nuisance. He doesn't have a lot of friends, but he's really cute.